Hi guys, and welcome to this simple CSS video. This is Jamie from System22 and GreatWebDesign.com. In this video we're going to demonstrate some margin CSS. In the last one we did padding, which gave us space within our elements. In this one we're going to do margins, which is pretty similar to padding, but whereas padding gives us space within our element, margins move our elements around and give them shift space outside our element. For this, I've actually wrapped our columns here in another div. I'll show you. If I open up our brackets text editor here, here's our original HTML. And for anybody that doesn't have a text editor, this brackets text editor is free, and there's a download link below this video. Here's our columns. And what I've done, the content here, I've actually wrapped in another div. I've called it class of box, and I've given it another class of cbox for our margin. I just show you, here's our original, and all I've done is add another div . And I've encased the actual content in this div here. Just tidy that up a little bit. And gave it the contents and gave it the class of box. And also I gave it another class of c-box. That was actually for our center box. So anybody that wants to follow along with this and download the template or the little demo site that we've got working here, you can download it from a link below, but you will need to add this div to it as we've not got that in the original site. So let's get back to our site. So margins, I've given this is that center column there, I've given it that class of cbox. So if I give that a bit of CSS now, I'll give it a margin left, say, of 10 pixels. It'll push it over this way. So if we go back to our CSS file, here's our original site files. This is what you get when you download the site. Here's the index HTML file that we're working on. Just simply right click and open that with brackets or your text editor of choice. And the CSS file, if we open the CSS folder, it's the simple one at the bottom here that we've created for this site here. So if we go to our CSS file, I've opened it in brackets already. Here it is. And we're working on the second section, which was that blue section. And now I just need to give that cbox a little bit of margin. So dot cbox was the class that we gave it. And in HTML you can have multiple classes on any element. You see here we've got a class of box, and we've also got another class of cbox. That's fine, you can have multiple elements if you just want to control one aspect of one of these boxes here. These have all got the same element of box, so we can work on this one separately. So it's cbox, open and close curly brackets. Bit of a space in between, and now we're going to put margin. We'll say left, because we're working on the left side, and we'll give it 20 pixels, which will push it 20 pixels to the right. And save that. Now if we go back to our site, now when I refresh, our center box should push 20 pixels to the right. There we go. It's pushed it over there for us. We can also, if I inspect that now, which should give us that C box, right click and hit the inspect. And we should see, if I click on the correct element, which is C box, you see C box there. And there's our margin attribute. So we can actually do it in real time in our Chrome browser here. Like I say, I'm using the Chrome browser. If you're following along, you might want to use the Chrome browser also. It's great for doing real-time CSS tweaks like this. Okay, so we got margin left 20. If we can change that. It's the same as padding. You can do left, right, top and bottom. So margin right. And it's pushed it back this way because we've got a margin on the right hand side. We can also do top and bottom. And that's giving it a margin on top, so we've effectively pushed it down. Now here's a great thing about margins. You can also give it negative attributes. So I want to pop this up this way. So I can give it a margin top of minus 20 pixels. And you'll notice this is how a lot of pricing tables are when they put the most popular one in the middle and it's raised slightly. So there we have it. It's popped it up 20 pixels and it just stands out a little bit from the rest. This is what makes margin CSS stand out from padding CSS. And you can actually, you know, if we were to do left, we could have them overlapping here. Say margin left. Let's give it 40 pixels and see what happens. It should overlap with a box to the left there. Bit more. Give it 50 pixels. Let's give it 60 pixels. There we go. It's hard to see. Let's just give it an offset. So I'll give it a padding top of 20. Oh, sorry, margin top, I should say. There we go. You can see it sort of overlapped there. If I give it a quick border aspect, we'll cover borders. We'll cover border CSS in another little video. Let's say 2 pixels. Solid. And let's make it green just to stand out. That'll be pretty nasty. See, that's got a 2 pixel solid border of green. Actually, let's make it more 4 pixels. There we go, and that makes that stand out a little bit more, just so you can see what's going on there. And we've got our box, which is all 3 of those boxes got that. So if I put that border on all 3 of them, so I'm just going to copy that. There, they've all got that border now. Then if we wanted to, I could put that one cascading down just below that one. I'll have to give it another class. We'll call it center box. I'll call that right box, R box. So let's just copy this over. Let me just grab that attribute as well, because I'll put that in our box CSS. So I'm copying it from the top of the dot to the bottom of the closing curly bracket there. And let's just copy this, go to our CSS style sheet and make this permanent. So we're on the second section here and paste in what we've just copied from our Chrome browser, which is that. I'm going to cut this border off here and just put it in that box CSS. Control X to cut. Let's delete that space there, keep it tidy. Here's our box, which applies to all 3 of those. boxes that we're going on there. And we'll save that. Control S. Now if we go back to our site and refresh, it should stay the same. There we go. We've made that permanent now. Now we just want to drop this one below here. So now I said I call that R box, so I've got to give it a class in our HTML. So back to our bracket software. And there's the first box, the C box. Here's the second one. So I'm just going to add a new class after that box class. I'm going to call it R box for right box. For one of anything else. You can call these things anything you want. But you've just got to remember you don't want to call them, you don't want to use anything that you've used before. So let's save that. And let's go back to our CSS file and add our new class of R box. And open and close curlies. Bit of space in between. I'm just going to give it, I'm going to give it that margin left. And I'm going to give it the margin top of say 40, which will drop it down 20 more pixels, so it should cascade. Right, let's save that. Control S. Back to our site. Now when we refresh, this one should move over and down 40. There we have it. So they're kind of overlapping there, and that's a great thing you can do with margins to make things stand out or not. And this is our C box, remember, margin top 20. Let's give it minus, see how far is that? That's got to be 100 pixels. Let's give it minus 200 pixels and see if it pulls it up there. So just put a minus in there and add another 0 on the end there. See, that way it's overlapping with our thing. Let's do another 50 so it's kind of centralized. So 250. That's a bit more like it. It's not exact. Well, let's do 240. Okay, let's just change that and make it permanent. If we go back to our CSS file, margin top minus 240, I believe we said, wasn't it? Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this so this one actually stays central. So let's just delete that and save. Back to our site. Now when I refresh, that one should pop back up where it was. This one should stay right there. There we go. Actually, I'll just take away the padding on the other side, or the margin on the left, so it's more central. This should be in the middle now. There we go. Okay, like I say, that's fine and dandy, and there's your nice effect which you see on a lot of sites where it's overlapping a different section. Now if we hit the device toggle, when it gets to a certain level, it's going to drop down at the breakpoints where these columns, bootstrap columns, will just jump down to single items. At the point that it breaks, we'd have to put in a media query getting rid of that so they all just line up underneath, or put some more margin CSS in there under that media query. But as I said, we'll cover media queries in another little video. So there you have it. There's a quick demonstration of margin CSS. It's really useful. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. If you're interested in web development, please take one of our courses below. We've got some premium courses heavily discounted for our YouTube subscribers. There's also some great free courses down there. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and GreatWebDesign.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.